So again, these are efforts. I think what we're going to see from this particular network is unprecedented efforts to create new markets where markets have not existed before. Mm-hmm. So a lot of this is being done through the real world asset tokenization frenzy and the push to, move into natural capital, which I know we've talked about for actually a couple years now. And the idea of like securitizing natural resources or the global commons, the world's oceans, rivers, lakes, streams, and all of that. The guy that invented, carbon markets really, Richard Sander, who's like an ex-Drexel Burnham Lambert guy, and created, helped create derivatives and stuff. He wants to create, a private market, sort of like the carbon market, but for clean air and water. So get ready for your de facto air tax, guys. These are people making money and they want to make markets. And the way this crowd makes markets, I always go back to this Larry Fink quote where he says markets like totalitarian governments. Totalitarian governments can pose markets no one wants on the population. This is what happened. This is the China model, This is why people like Larry Fink love it over there.
Bitcoin Zella stands out with its simplicity and clarity. We've crafted an experience that anyone can dive into, whether you're a crypto expert or just a new to the crypto world. Now guess who keeps his eye on us? The author of best-selling book Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki. And we want to take this opportunity and thank all the people who trusted us, and we read every comment. And the best part, it's free. Subscribing now means you will get all new information for free. Don't just follow the trends, stay ahead of them. Subscribe to Bitcoin Zella today and enjoy the new edge. In today's video, Whitney Webb discusses the partnership of the private tech sector with the surveillance state and more.
Mm-hmm. The federal government comes in to help out the markets. It's like centralized control for the purpose of creating controlled markets. And if this was a free market play, people would be like, no, I don't want to, why do we need this stuff? There's no need for it. And they can try and manufacture consent through climate change, fear mongering and whatever. But at the end of the day, it hasn't worked. So how do they get it? Well, they have to have governments impose it on people. Cool. And when you have a complete surveillance panopticon, it's much easier to impose that on people than it otherwise would be. And they have all these markets lined up to impose on us. A lot of it involves, the complete destruction of the natural world, really, and, just complete financial madness. And that's why, recently I've sort of been trying to frame the CIA as Wall Street secret police. That's essentially what happens. And it's the oligarchs, the moneyed people in the United States that really, that's who the CIA has been answering to for a long time. And these are the guys that are now backing the Silicon Valley Titans and all of that. It's, maybe they're going to change the facade the system wears, but, it's going to be the same ultimately at the end of the day. And that's why, I'm so critical of what, appears to be shaping up here, because I think it's just another effort to hoodwink us and saddle us with something that's just as Orwellian and terrible as what the CIA was trying to do decades ago. The agenda has marched forward, and if it's coming from the private sector or the public sector, who cares? It's terrible for human freedom on all counts, right? So anyway, if not this election cycle, I don't know when, that continually voting for the lesser of two evils is just, you're still voting for evil, right? Is this really the best we can do? And people say it's the only choice we have. It's not. You can take personal responsibility, build solutions, and also not comply. If we have enough people not comply with the digital ID stuff and the biometric stuff, it won't work. And that's what a lot of people said during the Vax Passport stuff during COVID is don't comply with the vaccine passport. This is a trial for something they want to roll out that's going to be much worse than just vaccines. But could be tied to that too, potentially in the future. You don't take a particular vaccine, your freedom of movement can be restricted again, or you say the wrong thing online, your freedom of movement can be restricted. This world is being built, and it's being built by both parties. And I think some people just don't really want to face that reality and find it doom and gloom and super black pilling when I talk about this, but it actually should be super white pilling that it's very easy to not comply. Well, maybe not necessarily easy, but we're all capable of not complying. And the more people that don't comply, the better chance of success we have.
United States President Joe Biden shocked the markets when he ended his re-election bid on Sunday, July 22. Some analysts suggested that the president's withdrawal from the election race could benefit Bitcoin and other crypto assets in the coming months, while others cautioned that investors should temper their excitement for now. The price of Bitcoin immediately dipped as much as 2.8% following the announcement, touching the $65,800 mark, but it quickly regained over 3.6% by the time of publication, according to TradingView data. Describing Biden's sudden move as a win for crypto assets, eToro market analyst Josh Gilbert told Cointelegraph that Trump's heightened chances of re-election represent a huge boost for the asset class. The longer that we see Trump staying ahead in the election odds, the more crypto assets will price in his victory. It's difficult to envision Kamala Harris or another Democrat candidate overturning Trump's lead in the polls with just 3 months left in this election race, but a lot can happen in that time frame, so nothing is off the cards, he explained. Trump has recently made Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies a key part of his election campaign, declaring on June 14 that he would bring an end to the Biden administration's war on crypto if elected president. 10x Research founder Marcus Thielen suggested that a crypto-friendly Trump could announce that he would make Bitcoin a strategic reserve asset for the U.S. government at the upcoming Bitcoin 2024 conference in Nashville, Tennessee. However, some analysts say the recent Biden development may not lead to an immediate surge for crypto. Swax analyst Pav Hundal warned that while Biden's withdrawal could boost Trump's chances, it would be difficult to directly link this and the current bounce in price action in the broader crypto market. Learning from the Bitcoin ETF experience, we could see a temporary stalling of prices before the uptrend continues, he said. This recent surge might be attributed to early Ethereum ETF speculation, and it's important for investors to stay cautious and not get overly excited in the short term.
And, pretty much ever since COVID, the agenda of, the World Economic Forum and all the elites has been to rebuild trust. The trust they lost during COVID and all of that. And so by having all of these like emotional triggers and, one after another, I mean, a lot of it seems like it's trying to cultivate, a certain segment of the population, like make them trust or, practically in some cases, maybe even beyond trust into like borderline worship, some of these figures that have been held up to us as, the solution to all of our problems. No one person is going to get into the White House and solve all their problems, even if he's great and not a lesser of two evils candidate, And I think, again, that Americans need to return to like the core values of the country, like individual responsibility and resilience, and like take responsibility for building alternatives to this stuff. You don't want to comply with digital ID and programmable surveillable money. Make new systems, make new alternative financial systems, alternative any system, but I think financial is definitely an important start because, a lot of this ultimately leads to people being like financially deplatformed or like completely cut out of the economy, right? But there's a lot people need to be doing in terms of solutions, and the more we're distracted by like the political circus in the United States, the less time people are spending building and also letting people in the public know about solutions. Because as we get closer to November, the censorship situation on platforms is going to just get crazier than it even was last time or any of the previous elections. It's going to be harder to get information out. So either alternatives for communication or information distribution or finances, whatever, a lot of that has to be thought about and like at least start to be developed like now would be good.
Unsurprisingly, market participants showed no shortage of optimism as a result. Popular trader Benjamin Cowan hoped that the 20-week simple moving average at $65,650 would function as support going forward. Extremely explosive move by BTC off the lower trend line back above its BMSB. Wrote in a post on X, "Let's see if BTC can hold above the 20-day SMA." Trader and analyst Rect Capital meanwhile focused on the relative insignificance of Bitcoin's correction since March's new all-time highs. On monthly timeframes, he continued BTC had successfully retested its old 2021 all-time high as support in part of an ongoing resistance/support flip. phenomenal retest of the old all-time high resistance as new major support. He commented alongside an explanatory chart. Bitcoin has been successfully retesting this vital region as new support for 5 consecutive months. In further evidence of the extent of the crypto recovery, sentiment reached its greediest in over a month, as measured by the Crypto Fear and Greed Index. The classic sentiment gauge, which uses a basket of factors to compute an aggregate mood score for crypto markets, stood just below extreme greed on the day at 74 100ths. Just a week ago, the index measured just 25 100ths, corresponding to the inverse scenario, extreme fear, characterizing the average trader's market perspective. And do not forget to subscribe to Bitcoin Zella. The most important news will reach your inbox on a daily basis and for free. I do not know why you have not subscribed yet. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more daily updates. Remember, knowledge is power, and we're here to empower you on your financial journey. Until next time, happy investing.